Stuff I can't afford. Tank's looking good. Let's get to what you've come here for. Now, I know, I have been milking this aquarium out a lot on this channel. If you don't know what I mean, this is the 5th episode regarding a 10-gallon aquarium. But this thing cost me a pretty penny, and instead of just getting enjoyment out of it, which I will, might as well make a couple videos. And by a couple, I mean 5. So, this should be the final episode of the series, sadly. Because in this episode, not that drawer. In this episode, we are going to conclude it with the feeding. Let's get into it. So I've just got some omega-1 super cornflakes, and it is supposed to, I think it's supposed to brighten colors. Naturally occurring fire, yeah, it is supposed to brighten the colors. So we get a nice fat pinch since there are 11 organisms in here, 13 organisms in here that I need to feed. So that's not really too much, but we'll deal with it. Trying to get him in focus. Soon these tetras should be getting whiffs of it. Oh, that scared him. I don't know why it wouldn't scare him. Alright. And there are some tetra eats. There's a group of them hiding in the cave, which now that I put the focus on, they are leaving. There should be some shrimp coming out to eat. See, there's one right there. Another one right there. He focuses whenever he's in the background. There's actually 2 shrimp over here. Gorham's gonna be going through the cave. Back up a little bit so you see if he goes through all the way. Go through it. Go through it. Oh, you just see, just a little bit goes a long way. Because all these guys are going to eat, and then the rest of it's going to float to the bottom where they can either pick at it or these shrimp will come and pick it up. That right there is actually the big one. As I mentioned in the last video. Will the lighting work? Kind of. Kind of getting an upward view. And I'm just going through that little hole right there. So actually, let's see if I lift it up. Where's he at? Oh, he's in the back corner. He's over there, out of sight. Let's see. I think the touchers are over here. Oh, got them. Where are they at? And the gourami has moved somewhere. Oh, he's back there. Yeah, I can't get too far back from the bird's eye view. But that was the feeding for this aquarium. That may have just spoiled the surprise I said would happen in the next video. Last video. Now, as much as I do think this tank is superior, there's also this tank, which they just got fed, so the feeding will all actually be tomorrow, but you'll see it in like less than a second. But betas and a moss ball, but nobody really cares. Shrimp back there. One beta and another beta. Yes, they are both females. I like that one a lot better. It's got cooler coloring. Let's get to the feeding. So, before we get into the feeding, I just wanted to say, this is a fish that has been at my mom's school that she works at. It is just a little male beta. It's not in too good of condition right now, but it is getting better. So now we are going to be feeding both of the female betas. Meme, you can go ahead and do it real quick. Now, these guys aren't going to be too exciting. I just wanted to show them off a little bit. God. Yeah, she's not eating right now, so I'll just focus on the blue guy. Girl. She's not eating too much either. Might be because I'm right up in her face. There's the blue one, there's the red one. You kind of got an idea on what they like to do. They'll slowly pick off with that. But also in this aquarium, you will see there are a couple of fake plants. We've got a Marimo moss ball.
There's also a shrimp.
Yeah, there's a ghost shrimp somewhere in there. He's right there.
He is? Oh, yeah.
And then that little plant back there was originally from my aquarium, but because the gourami is omnivorous, he was also picking at that, and he kept ripping it out of the ground, so we went ahead and put it in this aquarium just to add a little bit more life to it. But this is a top fin 3.5 gallon, so perfectly suits them. The only thing that we might do to upgrade this is, you want to put a thing in the middle, or just add more plants?
Add more plants.
Add more plants. So fake or alive, she doesn't really know yet. So let's get to the Q&A. So before we get into the Q&A, I would just like to say that I am still selling my Emerald Fishing Freak Fishtails issue 1 for $13 now. I can't remember how much it was before, but it is, I think it's 20 pages, 14, 15 pages, all right. And it's just a bunch of, oh, there's a table of contents. Ooh. Let's get some sneak peeks here. I did enjoy making this one, and I would love to make an issue 2. If you would like to see that, it would feature stuff with the aquarium and stories never seen on the channel, and some that have been seen. But enough for that right now. Let's get into the Q&A. So as you can see, I put 2 Q&As up on my Instagram at @officialfishingfreak, and we got quite a good bit of questions. So first off was, how do you plan to upgrade your aquarium in the future? As far as upgrades go, most likely a smaller upgrade in tank size, maybe like a 10, not 10, I already have 10, a 20 gallon or max 30, but that's really it. And then with that new fish, if we were to do that. Question number 2, do you hope to make it YouTube a career? No, most of the stuff that I'm doing right now, I've just got so that one day I can look back on it and be like, oh, that's what I used to do. That's the main point of Emerald Fishing Freak. If it could become a career, I would gladly do so. But that's pretty rare as a possibility. So, for question number 3, what is your favorite fish catch of all time? That easily goes to the 6-foot blacktip shark I caught out of Egmont Channel in May of 2019. If you haven't seen that video yet, there are actually 2 different videos that feature this fish. One is the biggest fish of my life video. Warning, that video is explicit, and it is the full fight with the blacktip. And the other one is the Spring King of the Beach fishing tournament video, because I caught it during that tournament, which I've actually got the bucket sitting right over there. Alright, 4th question. What is your favorite bait to use for bass? Personally, soft plastic watermelon red baby brush hog on a 3/0 what's it called? Worm hook. And then if you want it just a little split shot, doesn't really matter an exact size, but just a little split shot. That is perfect for largemouth, at least in Florida, shallow grassy ponds. Alright, question number 5. Get a Nemo. That was more of a statement, and Nemo would be more of clownfish. The reason why I wouldn't do that is because clownfish are typical fish, and as much as they are cool, they are very typical in aquariums for their maintenance. And I just don't find them too interesting. So I guess there you go. Number, what is this? 6. If I was giving $100 right now, what would you do with it to upgrade the aquarium? With recent events that's coming up, I know I said that this was the last video, but sadly there's going to have to be a 6th part, and it's not going to be a pretty one. I'm going to have to add, most likely, savings, because this aquarium is turning out to be a whole lot more expensive than I thought. And if not, pretty much the same thing as the first question, upgrades to the tank size or fish, along with aquascaping and all that. Number 7, give the fish names and families. These are starting to sound like all statements. The reason why I couldn't do that is because neon tetras, the guys in the picture, are not that easy to identify against the other ones. Now, if I looked at them, I can pretty much tell what the smallest one looks like and the largest one, but there's never a distinct feature about them that I could tell apart, and it'd just make it too hard to do that. So now we are going to move on to the final question, question number 8. Would you want to get a fish that would eat other fish? Yes, I really want to get one of those. But most of the predators that I'm looking at, they can't really be in community tanks. Like right now, I've got a community tank of shrimp, tetra, and the gourami. But most of the stuff I've been looking at, preferably Oscars is what I've been looking at. They need way too big of aquariums, they're way too high maintenance, and you can't really have too much stuff in with them. So that's basically why I wouldn't have a predator. So, that's it for the Q&A. Make sure you look out at Emery Fishing Freak, not Emery Fishing Freak, at Official Fishing Freak on Instagram, so that you can get one of these, and stay tuned for if we have any more Q&As. Now, like I said just a second ago, there is sadly going to be a 6th episode regarding the aquarium, but that's likely not going to come for a while. And if I would have ended it here, but the reason why I'm not showing it is because it's got a problem, and we're gonna have to deal with that. If you enjoyed this episode of Emer Fishing Freak, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.